Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We think we found out the problem, why we cannot. The governor can explain the budget, but he can't understand it for us. I think we figured it out. And I think it has a lot to do with Common Core math. So Brandon's got this set up. You'll hear the governor telling us why we can't understand. Then we'll go right to a Common Core math problem. The difference between the problem that's being done by the second grader, Brandon, is you just got to add a lot of zeros to what the state government's doing and what Bell Edwards and them are trying to do with the budget. So all you got to do is remember it's the same concept. It's just a lot more zeros down in Baton Rouge. So here we go.
I mean, I can explain it to you. I can't understand it for you, and I'm not trying to be ugly about that.
8 plus 5 equals blank. Well, we all know that 8 plus 5 equals 13. And we learned that, 1, we did with manipulatives, and 2, we learned math facts, and we memorized our math problems, simple ones, so that we could just throw them out there and not have to think about it. They're breaking it down. They want them, instead of just writing 13 or counting on their fingers, to say, how do we break down the 5 so we can make this a 10? So Michael has to think, okay, well, this is 8. How many more do I need to make it a 10? Oh, well, I need 2. Well, okay, well, that's a 2. So 2 plus what equals 5? Oh, 2 plus 3 equals 5. Okay, so now I can group 8 and 2. That gives me my grouping of 10. And then I add the 3 and I get 13. Well, I think that's great. That's a great way to do mental math. But this whole process right here is extremely abstract for a 7-year-old to try and figure out. Anyways, that's just my little piece of how I feel about Common Core. I do think it's a great idea. I do think that it could be good for the long run, but I think that as a second grader, it's a bit challenging.
All right, folks, we're going to have some fun with this one. I can't help it. I was wondering why I sent it to you and couldn't understand. I was wondering why I couldn't understand. I'm wondering why the legislature can't understand. I wonder why the press can't understand. You know, I'm just now know. I don't understand Common Core math. Did y'all understand that math problem? You know, I can do 5 plus 8, 13 pretty quick in my head. And I didn't cheat, folks. I knew it when I saw it, the 5 plus 8. But it's amazing to continue to watch. All right, yesterday, Lobby had the annual convention. Laura Ingraham was a special guest host. She was the person that came and spoke. Okay, you follow me so far? Yesterday, Ingraham, the governor, got up and in the middle of the speech left. The word is, and I had a bunch of friends there, the word is Ingraham was talking about the state of Louisiana and how we struggle with all this stuff and how raising taxes is not the answer and how we lost a $50 billion ExxonMobil deal in Texas and New Mexico. And the governor picked up and left the room. There was also a couple of Black Caucus members left. She had made a joke about it might have been a discussion on taxes or when she tore up Mitch Landrieu over the Confederate monument controversy in New Orleans. The joke she opened the discussion, which was that she brought a bronze statue of Donald Trump for all attendees, but the Landrieu confiscated it at the airport. That's funny stuff right there. But they left. So anyway, Edwards picks up and walks out. According to the report, I think this was a hayride, with the talk of the room that Edwards got up and left. Talk of the room. Another thing. So the governor leaves. The governor doesn't want to hear anything about cutting taxes. He don't want to hear anything about cutting the size of government. He just doesn't. Because of Common Core math, I'm sure. So yesterday they're having prior to the luncheon, they were having a discussion. Y'all been hearing it. We talked to people about it. Ohio checkbook, where you put everything, every penny you spend. I could go check out the deal. It's friendly. And the Ohio checkbook, Brandon, I don't know if they call it a Louisiana checkbook or whatever now. You got somebody who wants to introduce the bill in the state of Louisiana that you and me will not have to call on each other. We can just go to a website, pick it up, and look at where we spend every single penny, which is an awesome idea. Okay? At the meeting, one person made negative comments about the Louisiana checkbook, and it was Jay Darden, who is the Commission of Administration co-governor, $237,500 a year. He was the guy that knifed Vitter, 1 or 2, knifing Vitter, and his chip came in. So he was questioning why we needed this, that we had a program. We were in the middle of a 3-year, $120 million project to put the state agency board on L.A. track, which, by the way, is the most unfriendly thing you can find. They set some $120 million. This is Bobby Jindal set this up. Now, of course, Jay Darden didn't cut the contract because Jay Darden, he's supposed to be cutting all these contracts. He never did it. And it's very difficult. Now, $120 million, you know how much it's going to set the website, Brandon, for the Ohio website, the Ohio checkbook website? $800,000. But Jindal signed a contract for $120 million for lot track, and you can't even hardly use the things properly. And Darden was defending that. $800,000 website to show what needs to be done, and you can have it done. And Jindal spent $120 million, and it doesn't even work properly. In other words, Ohio for $800,000 was a website. Show you to check the city of Kettering, Ohio, to Red Wing Shoe Store for uniforms for Parks and Recreation employees. $120 million can get you what, if you want to find out about one of the state junkets, the Louisiana Department of Health and employees, the information is worthless. You can't even get it all. $120 million. Spent $800,000 due to Ohio checkbook. Let me tell you how this is going to die, because I think it will die. I'll tell you how I think the Ohio checkbook will die in the state legislature. First of all, Bell Edwards and Jay Darden don't want that. They don't want nothing to do with it. Number two, $120 million. They need to cut that contract right now. Whatever's left of it. They said we're middle of a 3-year deal. Well, if we're in the middle of a 3-year deal, did John Bell Edwards sign this? I thought Jindal had signed this in office. The middle of a 3-year deal, Brandon, well, that would be year 2, wouldn't it? If you would, and Brandon, but I can't use Common Core math on this, okay? If you have a 3-year deal and you're in the middle of the deal, wouldn't you say you're probably in the 2nd year?
That's a good assumption.
Thank you. So whoever passed this, if it was Jindal or Bell Edwards, this is stupid. And it's not working. $120 million, who's getting this money? I guarantee you it's somebody not in the state of Louisiana. I just almost bet you it's not in Louisiana. We could have spent $800,000 and got the real deal. Here's how I'm making a prediction today. Brandon's going to be my witness. If it dies in the legislature this year, it will die in a Senate committee that John Alario, who will get the opportunity to put this particular law into the committee he wants, that he controls. And they will rip it of pieces, although Ohio has been good for them because people can find out where the money's going. Everybody asks me, Moon, what can we do? How can we find out about what's happening with the money? This is it. I predict this will be killed by John Alario in the Senate and a Senate committee. You got to remember, you kill stuff in the committee. So Edwards walks out yesterday. Darden gets huffy-puffy about the Ohio checkbook because we're spending $120 million on nothing that's not working. But we could have spent $800,000. Now, this is good government. And it will be killed in a Senate committee by John Alario. Brandon, I said it first. You heard it here first. Let's see what they do with it. It should have no problems getting out of a House committee in the House. The people that are going to be against this are going to be the liberal Democrats and the Black Caucus. And John Alario's Senate committee will be where all you got to do in some of these committees where there's only 8 or 9, 7 people, you only need 3 or 4 votes. And if you got the right people who really don't give a rat's butt about the state, they will vote against it. I'm just making a prediction where it's going to die. Maybe somebody in the legislature can email me or text me and tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right. We'll take a break. We'll be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. All right. Ohio checkbook. You heard my prediction, will be killed in a Senate committee. Okay. And I already found out the committee it's going to be assigned to, and I know Brandon ain't in the bill yet. And I know what committee it's going to be assigned to. Here's how it's going to get killed. You ready?
All right, this is Moonstradamus.
Understand, Moonstradamus. Understand a bill can get killed 3-3, Brandon. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I didn't even look at Judiciary C. I might change my mind, but I think it goes Judiciary B. Here's why. The chairman is a liberal Democrat, Senator Gary Smith. Vice Chairman Ronnie, I love to gamble every chance I get, Johns, who want to do Johns. Senator Norby Schobert, who's a moderate at best. Senator Eric LaFleur, who is a sycophant for Bell Edwards. That's one. He's the one will probably be the gutless one and walk out. Just my opinion. One of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the four that I just mentioned will walk out. So it's a 3-3 vote. And the Ohio checkbook will get dead in the committee because John Alario set these committees up. And you got to, once again, when I get mad about Alario and the Republicans that supported him, y'all should be madder at them than me. We ought to get every one of those people that supported John Alario out of there. I don't care if they're good people or not, because this is the kind of stuff they set up. So if this bill gets into the Judiciary Committee, which I think that's where it's going to end up, this is an easy committee to kill anything. Think about the next three. Jean Paul Morrell. Not that John. Not raising taxes, y'all. Not him. This is the Senate. Morrell is a 100% vote to shoot that down. You ready for the next one? Senator Karen Carter Peterson. Number 2 vote against the Ohio checkbook. Number 3, the great one himself, who says, I'll take money out of your pocket. Senator Greg Tarver. Those 3 votes will vote against the Ohio checkbook.
Where do you stand? Some would say
Senator
that
Tarver.
Greg Tarver's in John Bell Edwards' back pocket. Disagree?
Well, let me say this to you. I am in the people's back pocket. His back pocket's not big enough to hold me. But at the same time,
he's not lying.
He's trying to raise money for people in the state of Louisiana so we'd not have to cut services to the poor and to the needy. We have to raise the taxes. I don't like taxes. I have to pay the taxes just like everyone else.
I'm sure you'll get around it. But anyway, Judiciary B is the best way to kill any legislation. I looked at all 3 committees, Brandon. Okay? The committee that's the death knell for good legislation, John Alario set up in Judiciary B. If you see the Ohio checkbook, which, by the way, everybody, Brandon, ought to be for it. Everybody ought to be for this. So we can all go look at where our money's at, okay? If it gets to Judiciary B, Morrell, Peterson, Tarver, Eric LaFleur, and the guy that's the committee head, Smith, these people will destroy that thing. And they don't have to have a 4-3 vote, even though there's 7 people, 7 members. Three people can kill good legislation. And the magician, John Alario knows this, and that's why they set up one of these judiciary committees like this. I think that's where it will go. Now, I may be wrong. Maybe it'll go to another committee. But I'm telling you, if that's the committee they assign it, kiss it goodbye on a 3-3 vote. You'll have one person walk, probably Ronnie Johns. You'll have 3 people vote for it, 3 people vote against it, be dead to the next session. Because trust me, the great Jay Darden and Bell Edwards do not want the Ohio checkbook. They do not. See, if we had the Ohio checkbook, we could see that $600 million was never cut. Neither was the 672 nor the 981 that the governor's claiming he cut. You can see that. If he was so confident about what he's saying, he doesn't have to explain it 3 different times with 3 different numbers. I'm sure if he explains it a 4th time, he cut over $1 billion. I'm sure it's coming. By the way, making my point that the press won't make. Governor Edwards and Jay Darden and the press kept saying Jindal used bogus numbers. There's been nobody playing with the numbers worse than they have, and it started from day one when we had an $850 million deficit that ballooned to $2 billion in just a couple of days. They've already ballooned a $1 billion deficit to 1.4 now. If I'm wrong, somebody explain it to me. This is what's taking place, folks. And this is the shame. But, yeah, that Ohio thing, man, that checkbook, everybody like it. Conservatives like it. People that want good government love it. Jay Darden already came out against it. Jay Darden was already showing, we got a $120 million thing that we put $120 million. By the way, somebody's saying it may go to Senate and Government Affairs. You know who chairs that, Brandon? You ready? Karen Carter Peterson. I rest my case. There's no good government coming out of this governor. And Jay Darden, everybody, Jay Darden may go to Baton Rouge. You think Jay Darden's God. Because he can fool people and explain to people. He can out-talk you. He can make it sound like, man, there's no way. There's no way that anybody can out-talk him. I can't out-talk him. I admit I can't out-talk him. All I can do is bring up the facts. All right, Brandon, here we go. Senate and Governmental Affairs. You ready? Karen Carter Peterson chairs it. It'll never be a fair hearing. Wesley Bishop, New Orleans. That's 2 votes against it. Troy Carter, Senator Carter, New Orleans, 3 votes against it. John Paul Morrell is on that one, 4 votes against it. Greg Tarver, 5 votes against it. I think it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if it goes to that committee, it makes my point. You got Senator Mike Walsworth, who will vote with it. Senator Neil Raza, they will vote with it. Jim Big Leg Fannin may be the guy that walks. Senator Jack Donahue will vote with it. Okay, so there's your 3 votes. Just if for some reason Big Leg happens to trip and fall down and get it right, that's 4 votes. But I just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes. If it goes to that committee, John O'Leary will put these people on here. John O'Leary will put that other. The Ohio checkbook is dead meat. It's dead meat. And Jay Darden's arguing, we spent $120 million. We already got something like that. And nobody can use it. It's the most unfriendly thing you can find. And we spent $120 million. That was a brainiac that spent that much money. But there it is, folks. You go read about the Ohio checkbook. This was something that was brought up yesterday at Lobby. They're discussing, and Jay Darden was all against it. Why is that? He's a Republican, folks. Make you proud to be a Republican when you see a Jay Darden Republican. So whether it goes through the judiciary, it goes through this committee, Senate Government Affairs, it doesn't matter. It's all set up the same way by John O'Leary to help the governor stop what he wants to stop. Somebody said, is O'Leary related to Susan Collins from Maine? No, John's a liberal. And I will say this for O'Leary. When he changed to Republican, they said, why are you doing that? He said, so I could be Senate president. Why? Because Bobby Jindal, the great one, told him you can't put you there unless you're a Republican. So, Brandon, is that not Brandon, I'm going to be right on this one. I'll stick my guns on this one. We will be right. The only way, if the Republicans negotiate something and give it away to John Bel Edwards, will he agree to this? If not, it dies in the Senate committee because they have the votes, because because Republicans put John O'Leary as Senate president, they have the votes to run good legislation. We'll take a break. More to come. The Moon Griffon Show, hour number 2, right ahead. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline, folks, if you'd like to be part of the program. Got an open line for you. Talk about whatever you want to talk about today. Of course, I will continue to talk about what I want to talk about today, but you understand the drift. If you got a question, a comment, make a comment on anything I've said, you are more than welcome to. Because, I listen, this is not that hard to follow. If you don't get bogged down in the numbers about what's going on in the state government. And I'm telling y'all, folks, what they're putting out and the press is putting out, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But I hope the governor continues, him and Jay Darden continue to talk about these numbers. I'm just telling you, because as he talks about it and explains it, it's making it worse on him. Right? He wants to continue putting out these numbers and let him put it out. The governor walked out yesterday in a lobby meeting, the Ohio checkbook. Go read on that, folks, and tell me what you think about that. It's going to be blocked in the Senate. Whatever one of these, somebody said Senate Government Affairs Committee. Well, that committee's Karen Carter Peterson. I got to tell you right now, that's not going anywhere. And you just got to look at how, if we got a Republican House and Senate, how does the Senate set up for the Democrats to win? John Alario. You people think, oh, he just like to get on people. Alario's been a problem. Matter of fact, you ready for this? The word is him and Francis Thompson. Alario's been there 48 years at the end of his term, and Thompson's been there 44 years. They were in the House all those years. Now they're both in the Senate. They both are term limited. They both running again. Why? Power and money. They get to play the game. They're the big shots. It breaks my heart. Now remember, breaks my heart that people in New Orleans and Westgate and all that think a lot of this guy. He is hurting us. And same thing with Thompson. He's hurting us. People will elect him again. They're just going to elect him again. And I'm sure John Alario will have enough power, unless my friends in the Republican Party get some guts. When John Alario goes back to the House, if the Republicans would get together, because they're going to own the House, and say, look, what committees do you want Alario on? And Thompson. You don't put those cats on any big committees. You find their committee for, like, dog catcher or cleaning swimming pools or getting rid of mosquitoes. That's what you put them on. You don't get them nowhere near any money. No judicial work. Matter of fact, now that I said that, what committee would you want these people on? Let me see something here, folks, if you will bear with me. Bear with me here 2 seconds. Here we go. All right. You don't put them on Ways and Means. Put them on a retirement. Put them on a retirement committee. Maybe they can't hurt us there. Put them on the Municipal, Parochial, and Cultures Affair Committee. Maybe they can't hurt us there. You don't put them on the Administration of Criminal Justice, Agriculture, Foreign Rural Development. Put them on those. You don't put them on appropriation. You don't put them on civil law and procedure. You don't put them on commerce. You don't put them on education, health and welfare, house and government affairs, insurance, judiciary, ways and means, transportation, highways. You don't put those people on those committees. Now, I'm sick and tired of Republicans telling me about how John Alario got all his clout, but if he was in the House, we would do something about it. You're going to get your chance. If John Alario goes back to the House and becomes the Speaker of the House, and we're going to have a new governor, if the Republican governor comes in and allows the House and Senate to put these guys on anything that's important, they got a song about y'all. What kind of fool am I? What kind of fool am I? Nobody knows. What kind of fool am I? Oh, there's another one, Brent. I'm in the yellow pages, listed under fools. That's what we are with Republicans if you put them on a hot committee. Did you have a question or you just like to laugh?
I have no words for that.
Matter of fact, I have words for it only because there's songs like that.
God.
So you don't put them on a committee. They back in the man. They just stand there. Go follow the power. Go follow the money around them. Go follow what they've done. Somebody said you got to stop. Somebody else wrote,
Yeah.
there goes my dog again. I got to go catch him. I never felt this love since yesterday. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Marcel on the road. How you doing, Marcel?
Good. Is this the Moon Show? I was wondering if you could tell me which store to go to buy my lottery ticket this weekend for the Powerball.
I never played the Powerball, so I wouldn't know. I told people I lost money the old-fashioned way.
Hey, man. Yeah, same here. Hey, Moon. I got an idea. I think you should. We should get you to go down to Baton Rouge, and when they're having all these budget talks and for the special session, invite you as a special guest, and you start singing, and you tell them before you start singing, you're going to sing until
they leave,
until they get this all figured out and worked out, and they approve the Ohio State that checkbook that you were talking about.
Well, let me tell you something. The Ohio checkbook, the Ohio checkbook is going to roll through the House. You kill legislation in the Senate. If it goes to any one of the Senate committees that I mentioned, the players who love big government, big liberal Democrats, John Alario's buddies, they got to be his buddies because Alario put them there. The Senate president picks all that stuff, man.
These guys should be put on the state statute removal committee because there wouldn't be nothing left for them to do so we can get them out of office. But the whole thing is, Moon, nothing is actually going to change until we get this governor and governor associate or assistant or co-governor out of there and get John Alario and all these fat cats that have been there for decades.
Yeah, but they're not leaving. The people in those markets will vote for them again. I'm not trying to be ugly with the people in those markets, but as fools go, because you keep thinking the governor and these guys keep bringing home money to the district and bringing home to people and making people rich around them. They're hurting the state. They're hurting our jobs. They're hurting the climate in the state of Louisiana. If you like them that dang much, vote against them and let them come home, and then you hang out with them.
Well, I tell you what.
Think about this, Marcel. Jay Darden is upset about the Ohio checkbook deal, which will cost $800,000 to implement. They're halfway between an $120 million deal, which, by the way, if you read people don't even know about it. They go to the site. They can't find what they want. And I'm telling you, the House ought to pass this and then watch it get killed, unfortunately. Watch it get killed, unfortunately, in a Senate committee.
Well, it's all about accountability, and there has been no accountability in the state of Louisiana, and as far as politics go. I mean, we are just the most corrupt, crooked. But
let me ask you a question, Marcel. You got the press bragging about the great Jay Darden. I mean, Lanny Keller wrote a package. The administrative job that he has was Bobby Jindal upped it to $204,000. They bickered about Jindal giving all them raises. I did too. But when Edwards came in, they upped to $204 to $237.5. I'm wondering if he got another pay raise. I don't know because I didn't look. $237.5 for stabbing Vitter in the back. His retirement would be based on $237.5. And they call this guy. Now, he is smart. He's figured out a way for him to make a great living and a hell of a retirement. In the private sector, Jay wouldn't have been near that. Not even close. They used to tell me during the Foster administration. Remember battling Mike Foster? Well, we got to pay these people more because if we don't, we're losing all these good people. And I thought, well, if they can make more money in the private sector, hell, let them go. Somebody else would do the job. By the way, Brandon handed me $1. And he said, go run through the building and swing it around and see what you can bring up. And I told him, who the hell he thinks I am? James Carville? Plus, I don't abuse women, and I don't. James Carville not only abused women, he abused women. He abused women, and so I don't do neither. So anyway, I just thought
Moon, The other day I was on Joe Cerrone's show. I
know Joe.
in, and old Joe was talking about his buddy Jim Beam and this and that. And I made Mikey laugh because when I called in, I said, Joe, I said, your buddy Jim Beam, I said, I think he drinks Jim Beam as he's before and as he's writing his stories. And he's like, oh, Mikey. I could hear Mikey laughing in the background. Oh, I've been knowing him a long time. He's a good guy. And this and that. I was like, well, he may be a good guy.
He may be a great guy.
But he's in the back. He's in the back pocket of the governor.
Oh, no doubt. Well, he's always been a J. Darden sycophant. So that's what that's about. He's a J. Darden sycophant. J. Darden could call him and say, hey, look behind you. There's $1 billion. And Jim Beam's going to drop that phone and look. He's going to look and believe in J. Darden. So anyway, Marcel, got to run. Yeah, I've heard that before. Anyway, got to run. Appreciate it. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Warren and Lafayette, you are up next, sir. Open Forum Friday, folks. What do you want to talk about? It's your opportunity to talk to the good-looking talk show host whenever he comes in. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.